Last month, the good people at PragerU, my alma mater, go Devils, published yet another video demonstrating their desire to aggressively and willfully mislead people in the name of religion. This new video is titled, "What's a Greater Leap of Faith, God or the Multiverse?" The gist of the video is that any scientist who believes in the multiverse does so on faith, every bit as much as a religious person who believes in God. But at least believers are honest about it. There is so much wrong with this video, it's hard to know where to start. But let's begin with this. No scientist believes in the as-yet unproven hypothesis or concept of the multiverse the way a believer believes in God. No scientist of any worth whatsoever is hanging her entire life on the concept. There is no book said to be given to scientists by the multiverse giving people instructions on how to live their lives, including some truly life-altering demands to worship the multiverse and only the multiverse with undying devotion, often in the form of a minimum 10% cut in pay. Nor are there scientists acting to constrain the lives of others based on the multiverse, or a book said to be given to us by the multiverse, the way religious people seek to constrain the lives of others because God and Holy Book. From gay people getting married, to women wanting abortions, to ignoring climate change because God sent a rainbow promising he'd never let the earth be destroyed again like it was during the Great Flood. Which, by the way, never happened. Second, a scientist's belief in this or that as-yet unproven theory is in no way comparable to a believer's belief in an as-yet unproven theory regarding God or gods. All scientific beliefs are contingent, meaning that they are forever open to revision and/or rejection should new evidence come along and overturn the currently accepted theory. Try that with God, whose existence is offered as a brute fact beyond question, all without an ounce of evidence. New scientific theories also come about not because some Bronze Age ignoramuses were afraid of phenomena they didn't understand, but because they hold out the possibility of explaining inconsistencies in our current scientific understanding. That's all the multiverse is at this point, a possibility. A consideration scientists are currently investigating because such a theory may explain data which cannot otherwise be explained by our current understanding. C. Because our presenter doesn't understand the difference between religious faith in an immaterial outside time being and a scientist believing an as-yet unproven scientific theory, he incorrectly equates the two. The scientist's statement of belief is simply a snapshot of her current assessment of the theory in relation to the data. Should the data turn in some other direction, scientists will turn with it. But the data and evidence is the driving force, not the belief, not the theory. This is not the case with the believer, for whom contradictory evidence is simply a test of faith, a time to dig down deep and remain faithful even when the evidence is overwhelmingly stacked against you. For science, such unrelenting belief is anathema, and would be the end of science, as we would never move past our very first theories, holding on long after the evidence has clearly shown that it's time to let go. That's in essence religion. For the believer, this kind of unrelenting belief itself is a virtue. For the scientist, believing is simply a temporary state which will either endure or not as the evidence warrants. But my biggest problem with the PragerU video, Go Devils, is the fact that the scientist in the video doesn't seem to understand science at all. He might as well have said, "These scientists have theorized something which they believe may be true. How dare they?" He suggests that atheist scientists who don't believe in God because, quote, "the faithful can offer no indisputable proof for this belief," end quote, have an equally difficult problem. They can't account for the existence of anything. But that's exactly what scientific theories like the multiverse are trying to do. And they're trying to do that by looking at the data they have and asking, what would explain this data? That's how we got the multiverse hypothesis in the first place. The real problem for this guy is that scientists are looking for naturalistic answers to the question of our universe's origin. Again, how dare they? But that is what science does. Apparently, our PragerU scientist doesn't know that, nor does he seem acquainted with the last 400 years of science history, where God-based theories for various phenomena have been continually pushed aside by simple, elegant, entirely natural scientific theories requiring no supernatural intervention whatsoever. For this guy, difficulties explaining phenomena naturally lead to one conclusion: God did it. But if your answer is always God, you're not doing science. You're believing in magic. So which is the greater leap of faith? Saying you believe in magic, or saying you currently and contingently believe in something rooted in the natural world and the data that we've gathered so far? I'll let you be the judge. But this so-called scientific video from Prager University is just another pathetic attempt at, I know you are, but what am I? Yes, scientists believe things too. Shocking, I know. But belief itself has never been the problem. We all have beliefs. The question is, how do you come to your beliefs? And are those beliefs immune to evidence? When you don't know something, do you say you don't know? Or do you embrace a magical solution and then maintain unyielding devotion to that magical solution, even when the evidence is stacked against you? That right there requires faith. Contingently believing in a new scientific theory and investigating its veracity requires nothing more than an understanding of the scientific method and a commitment to follow the evidence, wherever it leads.